guys, welcome back to Room 237, and now I get to talk about a really stupid-ass movie. 1982's Bloodbeat, which I just saw for free on YouTube. It is a supernatural slasher film, which, if you've been watching this playlist, you know I'm not a fan of those. Some are okay. Slayer was good. It's not as bad as The Boogeyman, but it's way fucking funnier unintentionally. It was written and directed by Fabrice Anje Zafratos. I don't even care if I mispronounce that. It stars Helen Benton, Terry Brown, Claudia Payton, James Fitzgibbons, and Dana Day. And this movie is all over the place. It came out in 1982. Okay, so the writer-director is apparently French. The thing about this movie is, I don't even know where to begin with it. Okay, it opens up with a guy deer hunting. Catches the deer, brings it home. He brings his wife out. His wife is a painter. She sees the deer, has kind of a moment. He's like, oh, you've seen these before. The short version, okay, it's Christmas. I made about halfway through this movie debating on whether I should save it for Ho Ho Horror 2020, where I was just like, I don't want to sit through this movie again. Fuck it. Count my loss, just finish it. Family gets together for Christmas, and they are killed off one by one by this spirit of a samurai. Keep in mind this takes place in like Wisconsin. Spirit of a samurai, and two of the family members have psychic abilities. And it is just laden with uneven acting. Either they're completely wooden or they're cartoon characters. Very poor optical effects, even for 1982. 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing came out. That had optical effects. 1984, Ghostbusters came out. That had optical effects. Granted, the budgets were bigger. I mean, this was made on a budget of, probably doesn't even say. No, it doesn't. But, and so people are killed off. And the thing about this movie is, it's 86 minutes. But it feels like they did everything in their power to stretch that movie to 86 minutes, because you get such long scenes that just continue and continue. You know how a lot of people talk about like the original Friday the 13th, when we see Alice making a pot of coffee, but we see her going through the whole thing of making coffee? Take that, but for almost everything. Eventually, the whole family gets together. Okay, so you have the deer hunter, his artist wife, his son, or their son, his new girlfriend, and their daughter. Eventually, they all go out hunting together, except for the painter, because she is like reclusive in her art studio, won't talk to anybody, she keeps having her visions, won't talk to anybody, won't let anybody in to see her paintings. Eventually the husband does blow up and have a really bad episode about how he needs attention, stay in here. Ugh. They go out hunting and they're sitting there, and then this deer comes up, and just as the guy gets the rifle up, the son's girlfriend, Sarah, who's played by Claudia Payton, She's kind of treated like the main character. Screams no at the deer, so it runs off. And then she runs away. And she runs away for what feels like 5 minutes. Just like run like as close to the camera as possible. You hear the of like the leaves. Then we get another scene of it. And eventually she runs into a guy who's been eviscerated. You know, his stomach's gashed open. No one knows who this guy is. That's another thing. There's just scenes that don't make sense. Like that. They call for an ambulance. They can't identify him. They take him away. And then the girl Sarah spends most of her time up in the guest bedroom. Which, when everyone arrives at the house, the artist and the new girlfriend Sarah like share a glance, like they're kind of like two magnets kind of repelling each other. Okay, they're the psychic ones. And there's like, you get scenes of like when things are happening, the mother, the artist, who's played by Helen Benton, like she like how the fuck she do it? Like one hand goes stiff and then the other one does like this hectic painting. Doesn't even really look like anything. Sarah is in this dark bedroom, finds samurai gear in a dresser, faints. They hear the noise, they check on her, there's no samurai gear. And then just out of nowhere, we follow these neighbors, this elderly couple. I was laughing my ass off so bad. Because first of all, it was the first time since I was a kid that I've seen a waterbed in anything. Other than like Elm Street 4. So, there's this elderly married couple. The guy's laying on the waterbed with his dog. The wife brings him his tray of tea, but she keeps going out to do something, comes back, it's like, you forgot my orange juice, walks back out, we follow her all the way back out to the kitchen, see her make the orange juice, try it, not good enough, makes more orange juice. Samurai comes in, stabs her, and I mean, it's not a gore film. I mean, sure, you'll see the blade, the long samurai blade come out. You'll see the blood. It's like a nice mixture of regular slasher blood and the really fluorescent, like European red paint blood that you see in like Giallo films. The husband comes out to check on her, and then we just follow this guy. Gets in his van, drives away, gets to a gas station, looks, see if anyone's in there. The samurai's already there, leaves again. What the hell even happened to that fucking neighbor? Oh, this got a Blu-ray by a Vinegar Syndrome, by the way. Don't know why. And it got 4K, which I don't care about. But the fact it got the release and with special features including interviews, come on now. There's a bunch of other slasher films alone that deserve that kind of treatment. The van breaks down and he makes it all the way to the family's house. Which then, he makes it to the front door and they find his bloody body. And then the house goes into convulsions. Everything on the shelves is rattling. And at this point, you're just like, oh my god, what is this leading to? Because the samurai, don't even really get a good look at him. But yeah, just imagine like Shredder. He's got samurai flaps and like the armor. And he's got this, like, sort of pulsating blue optical light around him just so we know he's supernatural. The house goes through its poltergeist convulsions. And then we get to see the phone melt. The dad is unconscious. They hide. And there's like a battle of the minds. Like Kathy, the artist, tries doing her thing. I guess it seems to work. Things go back to normal. You know, the dad has been knocked out, wakes up. Those that were hiding in the closet come out. And then we just... Oh, and while they're doing that, yeah, the electrical shit's going crazy. So then we see some time has passed. There's like these 3 guys outside. They're getting killed by the samurai while we see Sarah and the son, that's her boyfriend, having sex. It's intercut with their deaths in the sex scene. I know people are gonna look at that and be like, it's like getting into the mind of, you know, the psychology of sex and violence and the juxtaposition. It's a stupid fucking movie. It doesn't make sense. You can, if you're looking for it, I'm sure you'll see it. Don't make sense of it. It's 1982's Bloodbeat. It's not that deep of a movie. Stop looking for meanings and shit that's not there, especially something this fucking stupid. So then, morning comes. The son has vanished. He's out somewhere. So his sister goes and looks for him. And there's even this one scene. This is what I mean by dull acting or a cartoon character. Because the mom, the artist, has been this dry, really dry, just barely acting. Like the scene with the husband yelling at her, like saying, you know, I'm trying to give, you're not letting me in. She's just like, she's literally just looking at him like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And he's going on a tirade. And I don't even remember why, but the daughter Dolly's like yelling at her, like, I'm your daughter. And she's just... And then the daughter's doing this whole, like... So it keeps going back and forth between... Okay. And then we get to the climax of the film, where, I swear to God, it is a Power Rangers battle. Because, oh my God. So, eventually the samurai is about to attack Dolly. Gary saves her by hitting the samurai with an axe. Bludgeoning the samurai with an axe. So we think all is good. He has the armor in his arms. They don't show the body. Oh, because it's paranormal. The artist is telling him to burn it. Sarah is telling him to burn it. He's like, well, we got to give it to police. Because police deal with paranormal shit. So then, Ted goes up to see Sarah. And she has a picture of, I think it's the mother, on the desk. Like, the picture's here. She's... And it's burning. So yeah, now she has pyrokinesis. And when he walks in, he puts it together like, oh, she has things too. Then she like goes like this, sends him flying across the room. So now she's telekinetic. And then I think it's Dolly walks up to the room, and we see Sarah putting the samurai armor on with full makeup as well. And they have a battle of the minds that is Power Rangers. Because you had this goofy, silly looking samurai, literally with a voice that's just, that when, because believe at this point now, Dolly, which Sarah was telling him to burn the suit, but then she put it on herself. Again, things that don't make sense. Oh yeah, so she stabbed the mother and the father with the samurai sword. Again, the gore effects are very minimal, but when you see them, they're kind of cool. A huge refresher over the poor as fuck optical effects. So then Ted and Dolly enter the room, and we find out they have psychic abilities. Because Dolly's doing her Power Rangers, whatever. Ted is just doing like a frozen, like his hands are like this, but down at his waist. But they start at separate times. And each time one starts, the voice of Sarah in the samurai suit is literally, because picture it, silly, goofy ass samurai suit with the poor optical blue, purple, whatever lights around him, with a voice like, "No, that's impossible. How is that possible?" But way more like nasally and high, like a fucking Power Rangers monster. Like, "Oh no, that's impossible." And yeah, they just keep doing their thing, frozen. They have their own colored optical effects around them. And then they win. And then they just walk out of the house. And that's the end of the movie. You know, I've seen some bad slasher films, whether it be my first marathon a year ago or this marathon. Home Sweet Home was a bad one. Final Exam wasn't a very good one. Starting to forget some of the ones I've seen now, but was this as bad as The Boogeyman? No. Because I'd rather see a killer samurai ghost than a killer mirror. But this one was more unintentionally hilarious for all the wrong reasons. This uneven, terrible acting. The writing that just doesn't make sense. Trying to, again, stretch the movie. You know, they were desperate to get to that 86 minutes with stretching every scene as much as possible. The one cool thing I can say would be the music. The actual score was kind of grating on the ears, but they threw in some classical pieces that did sound nice. It kind of added a little bit of atmosphere, but not much. I just can't believe this got a Blu-ray by Vinegar Syndrome. If I was to add this to my collection, I'll get a bare bones DVD. I'm not getting a Blu-ray of this shit. I can't even say I hate it because I was laughing my ass off. And it's funny because that great intro that the Horror Boy made me, which thank you Horror Boy for making me that awesome intro that I uploaded the other day. This is the first video that's gonna get it. That's an insult. Insult to the intro and the Horror Boy that this is the first video I get to attach it to. But yeah, this movie sucked fucking ass. It is for free on YouTube. If you want to have like a Mystery Science Theater like riff track, like just sitting there making fun of a movie for almost an hour and a half, have at it. But I doubt you'll enjoy it. Yeah. 1982's Bloodbeat. It fucking sucks. Thank you for watching.